right now on ABC 15 Arizona at 10.
Someone took something that was very precious to me and my son.
Only on ABC 15, a lifetime of memories gone in an instant, and with answers hard to come by, a Valley man becomes his own detective.
After a brief stint in the 80s, winter weather is back. How it could affect your weekend plans.
What's going on at the park? A safety alert tonight after people find blow darts with razor blades.
And that's where we begin. The big question, who is doing it and why?
Several people tell us they found blow darts at the Riparian Preserve in Gilbert, leaving some concerned about their intended target. ABC 15's Mike Pelton at the preserve tonight.
Well, this is a popular preserve, and those we've talked to are startled to find blow darts similar to this. And as you can see, they're pretty sharp.
Just clean, fresh air, nice walk, beautiful scenery.
Just like you can count on a sunset, you can bank on finding Donna Malkin at Gilbert's Riparian Preserve.
So I thought maybe it was a painted rock, and I walked up and looked closely at it. And I actually even picked it up and thought, oh my goodness, what is this? And dropped it.
This week, it's not the birds and the beauty that caught her attention, but this, what she believes is a blow dart with a blade or arrow fixed to the top.
It would pierce flesh, definitely, and it would definitely get stuck in my leg, I think, if they shot it at me.
It was absolutely a blow dart. Yeah, I can't see how it could be anything else.
Dick Burgess also frequents the preserve. He tells me he too found a blow dart, not on the ground, but in a rabbit.
It shows the dart going in the rabbit's ear. It went in like from the right side, right through its ear.
Burgess tells me he took this picture last month.
This is a nature preserve. It's just cruelty to animals.
He says the rabbit was alive, but Burgess is the one with a healthy dose of anger.
I hope that somebody sees that picture and recognizes those darts and thinks, hey, my buddy's got a dart gun like that, or my child has a blower dart thing like that. I recognize those things, and we'll talk to them and stop this.
Now, we're trying to get to the bottom of all this. We reached out to Gilbert Police and the town of Gilbert. We've not yet heard back. We'll let you know when we do. In Gilbert tonight, Mike Pelton, ABC 15, Arizona.
Now to several stories developing right now. A man in critical condition after being hit while riding his bike. Cliff Castle chopper over the scene near 20th Street in Campbell. This investigation is just getting started.
A major health alert just into the newsroom. Arizona's first confirmed case of measles in 2019, and it's a 1-year-old child in Pima County who apparently recently traveled to Asia. The state health department trying to figure out which locations here may have been exposed. Measles spreads through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes, and it is highly contagious.
The hunt is on for an armed robber. We were there as police and canines went door to door near 51st Avenue in Thomas just hours ago, but at last check, still no arrest.
How far would you go to get back something that's rightfully yours? New tonight, a Valley man becoming his own detective. Nicole Valdez joins us live. And Nicole, this is all about preserving memories and milestones.
Yeah, Katie, Steve, and years of those photos left in a hard drive just like this, but it vanished overnight. That Valley man saying it was probably taken from the inside of his unlocked car after he unfortunately left his backpack in plain sight. Now he says, though, there's no more room for mistakes. He is taking it upon himself to find the culprit.
He's a little ball of fire.
That's 3-year-old Wes and his dad, Timmy's Marsh.
I record every day of his life, every single day. From the time we brought him home from the hospital, from the first time he started walking.
These are some of the few videos he still has.
One day I was hoping that when he got older, I can show him how much I cared about him and how much I love him.
Last month, Marsh says he got a call from his bank saying they noticed some odd charges on his debit card. Turns out a backpack where he kept his wallet and the hard drive filled with years of memories was gone.
And what I did is I kind of shook it, and I didn't feel anything. What I did is I kind of just threw it right in there.
He filed a report with Phoenix police, but even they said the chances of finding it were slim. Still, Marsh wanted to give it everything he had.
He just means the world to me.
He says he's been keeping tabs on his bank activity and saw an attempt to use that missing card at a gas station.
That was the closest I got to that hard drive.
It took some convincing, but Marsh says the store gave him this video, showing a man using what he believes is his missing card at the exact time and place his bank says it was swiped. Marsh says he doesn't care about the card, though, only the memories he can never get back.
I don't even care about getting this guy in trouble anymore. It's just like those memories are way beyond this guy's life.
Now, detectives with Phoenix police haven't seen that video yet, so that man isn't officially a suspect, which is why we're not showing his face. Marsh, though, says he is willing to offer a reward to get those precious memories back. Live in Phoenix tonight, Nicole Valdez, ABC 15, Arizona.
Raped and robbed. Right now, Phoenix police are looking for the person who attacked a woman in the heart of downtown. Since bringing you this story is breaking news. Last night, we've learned that survivor is in her 50s. She told officers she was walking in the park near Central and Van Buren when a man came up and talked to her, but then he hit her on the head, knocked her unconscious. Waking up hours later, she realized she'd been sexually assaulted. Her phone, her credit cards also stolen. No detailed description of her attacker just yet, but we'll pass along any new information as it comes in. Policing their community back in January, Sheriff Paul Penzone temporarily suspended the MCSO posse. This after an audit found some members were carrying guns without being certified. Some even had criminal histories. But today, 17 members of the Sun City West volunteer unit were cleared to return. Penzone tells our news partners at KTAR this is about making sure those who deserve to serve do.
Increase the volume of the posse with the standards that we're making sure that we hold to, and that everything that we develop going forward, that it all fits the mission of the organization. So this is not about capping the posse. We want as many people that are deserving and qualified to participate.
In the entire county, more than 400 posse members are undergoing checks.
Hacienda Healthcare reaching a new agreement to put the facility under state supervision. Under the new guidelines, they must put in a new video monitoring system, have daily staff updates, weekly Department of Health meetings, as well as unannounced inspections from the state at any of the Hacienda Healthcare facilities. The guidelines come after a patient was raped and impregnated. Hacienda must also put down a $50,000 deposit to help cover the potential cost of moving patients.
Drinking water should not be a luxury, but that's the reality for the Hopi tribe in northeastern Arizona. They're dealing with arsenic in the water supply, and not just traces. We're talking 3 times the legal arsenic limit, according to the Hopi chairman, who told lawmakers this week the project to pipe in clean water has stalled as other tribes have requested more funds. For the town of Queen Creek, the problem isn't what's in the water, it's making sure there's enough. According to the town's website, EPCOR, the interim manager for Johnson Utilities, found problems with the system that could cause potential water shortages this summer. Right now, they're working with EPCOR and the Arizona Corporation Commission to find a way to help residents.
No water shortage here. New video from the Horseshoe Dam and the Tonto National Forest. They've been releasing water into the normally dry Salt River bed to make room for additional melting snow. The water's been flowing into the valley and forcing some road closures this week. But now that the week's over, we're focusing on the weekend, and let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Amber Sellens. We talking sweater weather?
Yeah, it's getting chilly out there. In fact, temperatures tonight in the valley down into the 50s, already freezing up to the north in Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon. And we'll be seeing a lot more freezes on the map by sunrise tomorrow morning as we track that cold air just settling in after that cold front moved through today. So well below normal for your Saturday. Temperatures only peaking in the upper 60s in the afternoon tomorrow. A little bit warmer on Sunday, so definitely Sunday the better of the 2 days to get outside for all of these great events happening across the valley, including the Aloha Festival, the races out at ISM Raceway, and spring training all across the valley. But then next week we have 2 storms to track coming back to back. Temperatures staying cool. We're tracking wind, rain, and snow all in your 7-day forecast coming up in just minutes.
You're going to be under arrest for DUI right now. Put your hands on your back.
He faced a month behind bars, but state lawmaker David Cook will only spend 1 day in jail for drunk driving in the valley. We showed you this body camera video back in December. The Pinal County lawmaker must also complete a drug and alcohol treatment program. Closed for good. As we first reported last night at 10, students of Argosy University in Phoenix now scrambling to figure out how they'll finish their degrees. But some good news tonight. Valley-based North Central University stepping up to say Argosy students can transfer all their credits and finish their degree if they're in a program that fits. Meantime, Senator Kirsten Sinema, as well as 12 other Democratic senators, writing a letter to the U.S. Department of Education demanding they do more to help these students. Argosy closing campuses nationwide after getting into a financial mess.
Older, more mature, and in need of love. Maricopa County Animal Care and Control launching a new program, Grown Pups for Grown Ups, to adopt out those older dogs. But for one woman This was a reunion years in the making. Jenny lost her dog Chico several years ago. Well, he ended up at a Valley shelter, and workers there finally able to track Jenny down. We were there. She was reunited with Chico. She had this advice for all pet owners.
They need to get microchipped. That's how they found me, because I did have them microchipped. And I did look for them and nobody turned them in. But if you microchip your dog, eventually, you know, dreams do come true. Your pet will come home.
Incredible story. The shelter says many older dogs are house trained and mellow, making them a perfect addition to families.
Animals and humans alike all ready for the weekend, but NASCAR fans may be the most excited. Cliff Castle Chopper over ISM Raceway in Avondale tonight. It's a NASCAR experience unlike any other. Whether you're a first-timer or you've been a fan for years, the infield gets fans up and close and personal with their favorite race teams.
That puts it in perspective, you know, the mechanics working on the cars. Years ago I had, you know, infield passes before they did this, and it was very rare to get in here.
The party at ISM just getting started. Races and events going on all weekend. Guardian 500 on Sunday. Later on in sports, Jason Snavely will have more on today's on-track scuffle making big headlines online. You don't want to miss the video.
To protect, serve, and date, a police officer busted for using his badge for all the wrong reasons. Plus, drive hammered, get nailed. But what if you're driving drowsy? We're going to break down the dangers in an Operation Safe Roads report.
Following the money and the push for reform, I go one-on-one with the man now in charge of Arizona's Charter School Association.
When you need help, they answer the call. But new at 10, one ex-Florida police sergeant is accused of abusing that trust. And now the FBI is involved, investigating Lionel Marinas for using the police database and his badge to get dates with women. The allegations coming to light when the father of a young woman called the department saying Marinas showed up at his daughter's home for no reason.
Cold telephone calls, visits to their home under the guise of being there for police business, you name it, to try and get dates with these women.
The FBI believes more than 100 women were targeted. His story captivating the nation, but now we've learned it may have just been that, a story. Empire actor Jussie Smollett indicted, facing more than a dozen charges. Police say he lied about being the victim of a violent hate crime. In January, Smollett told police 2 men attacked him, shouted slurs, tied a noose around his neck. Investigators now believe Smollett paid those men. This year marks 25 years since Arizona became one of the first states in the nation to publicly fund charter schools.
Today, charters educate 17% of our students, getting more than a quarter of state education funding.
But with stories of charter school millionaires and talk of reform in the state legislature, the industry is at a crossroads.
Tonight, the new director of the Arizona Charter Schools Association answering some tough questions. Jake Logan is not an educator. He has never worked in a school. He is not a certified teacher. His only prior experience in education, Logan served as a political appointee for 7 years on the state charter school board.
I would describe it as learning on the job on the charter board.
Is learning on the job the best thing to do in a regulatory board?
Well, it was a good chance to dig in, and I was anxious to do it. I've always been a school choice supporter.
Logan may need his considerable political experience representing the industry at a time when charters are under fire. A series of Arizona Republic stories detailing how charter owners were able to siphon off millions in taxpayer dollars to benefit themselves, including state lawmaker Eddie Farnsworth, selling the schools he owns to a nonprofit he created, walking away with $14 million, all funded by taxpayers. Logan defends the multi-million-dollar windfalls.
Those are private companies that take risk that contract with the state, but they are in fact private, distinct entities from the state.
Logan says he supports charter school reform, but also says the group helped craft a controversial charter school reform bill sponsored by State Senator Kate Brophy-McGee.
Certainly we had input on the bill, and we had input on the stakeholder process, as did a wide variety of groups.
We checked with several other education groups representing teachers, school boards, as well as watchdog groups. We couldn't find any group representing public schools or teachers which had any input in writing the bill. Advocates say what the charter industry labels reform will have little impact on financial accountability in charter schools. That charter reform bill passed the Education Committee and is now awaiting action in the Rules Committee before it moves to the Senate floor.
A series of firsts and long overdue breakthroughs on this International Women's Day. We're remembering the strength it took to get here. The Me Too movement helping survivors speak out, including Senator Martha McSally, who just this week spoke about the sex assault she experienced during her time in the military. And millions watching this powerful moment as a record number of women took their seats in Congress.
To know that women can have these kinds of roles now and have families and literally have it all and not feel guilty about it is absolutely exciting.
While many roads have been paved, there of course is still much more work to do.
Developing tonight, a basketball bombshell suspended indefinitely. That's the status for Will Wade, the men's basketball coach at LSU. This comes after Yahoo Sports Report revealed the FBI has a wiretap recording of Coach Wade discussing an offer for a recruit. And this comes just weeks before a federal basketball corruption trial is set to begin. It's been reported Wade and Arizona Wildcats coach Sean Miller will be subpoenaed to testify in that trial. At this point, Miller has not been linked to any criminal wrongdoing.
SpaceX splashed down the Crew Dragon back on Earth after its 6-day test flight, carrying about 400 pounds of supplies for the International Space Station, as well as a space-suited dummy named Ripley. It's hoped this test means the U.S. is closer to flying humans to the station again. After the shuttle program was retired, NASA has relied on Russia to fly astronauts to the ISS.
Looks nice for the weekend.
It does, yeah, but cool.
Peek at it. Yeah.
Yeah, the weekend definitely looking like a couple of the nicest days in the entire 7-day forecast, by the way.
I don't know if that even says that much after our windy day today.
Right?
And some of the wild forecast that's coming.
It's been a wild ride.
Today was
85 a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Today we were in the 60s. We had snow up in the high country. All of that is clearing out tonight, and winds are starting to back off as well. But take a look at this. We go into Sunday night. Clouds start streaming in. Monday morning, a chance for more snow showers up north, rain potentially across southern Arizona. We go into Monday night. Next comes another surge of moisture, bringing rain showers into the valley Monday night into Tuesday as that snow continues up north. And then another storm coming down on Wednesday, bringing widespread snow to the high country. Several inches of it is going to be possible by the middle of next week. So let's walk you through those valley rain chances. Monday morning, just a slight chance at 10%. Not expecting a lot for the valley at that point. But by Monday evening, up to 40%. By Tuesday, 50%. Wednesday, still looking at about a 40 to 50% chance in some spots in the morning, and that will taper off later on in the day. Now, as far as snow goes, up north, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, above 5,500 feet, we have the potential of seeing about 3 to 6 inches of snow in the forecast. It's going to be a wintry wild ride next week. Tonight, winds starting to back off after a very windy day. Gusts at 60 miles per hour in places like Winslow and Window Rock, and well over 30 miles per hour here in the valley too, by the way. Still have some breezes in Window Rock and Show Low. That is making a difference in what it feels like. Show Low's at the freezing point of 32, but feeling more like 21. And we have a wind chill right now of 19 degrees in Flagstaff. Here in the valley, 56 degrees. Winds coming in out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour, and temperatures already dropping into the 40s for Anthem, Cave Creek, and Apache Junction. Now, overnight tonight, most spots down into the 40s, and temperatures from the afternoon tomorrow will be in the 60s. It's a very similar afternoon forecast to what we felt out there today, but winds will be much, much lighter all across the valley and all across the state, really, for tomorrow. Take a look at these highs, 67, 68. Those are the magic numbers for most of our valley cities tomorrow. Up in the high country, quite a few more freezes on the map tonight. Freezing in Prescott, Payson, Heber, Show Low, Winslow, all of these spots in the 20s tonight. Flagstaff down to 17 degrees, and then for tomorrow, a high of 43 up there. For Prescott and Sedona, it's low to mid 50s. Kingman will hit 57, 60s along the Colorado River Valley tomorrow, and of course here across central Arizona too. We go up into the 70s briefly on Sunday, 73. Then we're right back down into those 60s early next week as those storms come in. We got rain chances, we got breezes. In fact, it may even get a little bit windy again next Wednesday. Then we dry out by the end of next week, and we'll inch back up to 70 by Friday.
Drunk, distracted, what about drowsy driving? A driving danger we rarely talk about in tonight's Operation Safe Roads.
In the community tonight, we are just beginning to talk as much as we should about victims of child sex exploitation, but bringing light can bring change and bring hope. So I want to thank Streetlight USA for having me host their event this evening. Just really incredible work they do with teenage girls, getting them out of human trafficking and just getting them into a place to begin their healing.
Distracted driving, that's what DPS says, caused this 5-car crash, shutting down the southbound side of the Loop 101 in McKellips for hours today. The Cliff Castle chopper over the scene, 2 people taken to the hospital. No word yet on specifically what the driver was doing that caused that crash. Distracted driving, drunk driving, both issues we have talked about in Operation Safe Roads, but drowsy driving is just as dangerous. According to a new report from AAA, drivers who miss just 1 or 2 hours of the recommended amount of sleep can double their risk for a crash. It's estimated more than 7,000 people have been killed in drowsy driving related crashes over the last decade. One problem, people are familiar with the roads in their daily drives and go into almost a trance-like state.
We call automatic behaviors. This is especially when people are driving on the highway. They just get into this automated mode.
Sleep study experts say 7 to 9 hours is best before getting behind the wheel.
A condition that typically impacts older generations is becoming more common in teens, even in kids. Chronic dry eye. That's when your eyes don't produce enough tears, leading to irritation and pain, even infections and scarring. Patients as young as 8 years old. One expert says the problem is too much screen time.
One of the biggest aspects about tablets and phones is that the patients don't blink. And so when they're not blinking, they're not causing the ocular surface to utilize the glands to produce a good tear film, and the surface can cause some exposure.
So like all things, moderation is key. The doctor suggests everyone watch and limit their screen time.
Wild scene today in Avondale. NASCAR qualifying at ISM Raceway, and a fight breaks out on pit row.
ABC 15 Sports, sponsored by Sanderson Ford.
While most of us were shifting into cruise control on a Friday, the Cardinals were hard at work, making some moves today. They released 2 veterans, quarterback Mike Glennon and safety Antoine Bethea. It was reported they also made a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cardinals received offensive tackle Marcus Gilbert in exchange for a 6th-round pick. Last but certainly not least, Cards re-sign our hometown boy, former Sun Devil and Saguaro SaberCat, DJ Foster, to a 1-year deal. Big one tomorrow. ASU U of A. Ready for this, Amber?
Yeah, baby.
All right. Usual friendly wager?
Going down.
All right. I'd really feel confident if I knew which ASU team was going to show up. To be determined. What we do know is there will be a lot on the line tomorrow in Tucson. There's always a lot on the line, but this time U of A, in front of their home fans, has a chance to possibly damage ASU's shot at the NCAA tournament.
We love, these games. I mean, it's you couldn't ask for any better way to finish the season. The next time we play is going to be in Vegas, and there's going to be a lot at stake there. There's an opportunity to try and go for a championship.
Rematch Devils and Cats, tip-off set for 2 o'clock tomorrow at the McHale Center. And some primetime NBA action to tune in for. Celtics head west to take on the Lakers. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock right here on ABC 15. Tempers flare today in Avondale. Daniel Suarez and Phoenix native Michael McDowell go at it in pit row after the first round of qualifying. Apparently McDowell held Suarez up on his second lap, and it led to this. I like McDowell wisely keeping on his helmet.
Yeah.
That's a way to go.
Not so wise to punch a guy wearing a helmet.
Pulling his shoe
Not
off.
as wise.
No.
And that crew chief going at. See, you see fights in hockey, baseball. Yeah. These are the ones that really make sense to me. Think about how mad you get when someone cuts you off on the highway.
It's track rage.
How mad I get, or how mad the normal person
Normal
gets?
person. That's their livelihood.
Good comparison.
Amber's like an anomaly.
Yeah.